Hi everyone, welcome back. So in the last video we looked at how we created simply nodes from the VSE, but at this point we're going to look at how to do the less complex transitions. The first video was simply to demonstrate how all these nodes work together, and it was a little bit of information to take in. Now we're just going to look at the simple movie and image nodes without these cross nodes. If we delete these nodes, these strips in the VSE, they'll disappear from our footage, and now we only have these nodes to contend with. So let's bring this viewer down. The way the priority system is expressed is using this layer in, layer out system, as I've already mentioned with the effect strips before. Currently, the highest precedence strip here is the fence because it's priority 1 compared to priority 0. So we're going to put that into the viewer. I'm going to show that we're going to select the viewer, so that's our active viewer in the scene. And then before this fence clip plays, we have the life ring. So that goes into layer in. And the way these layer in and layer out nodes work is they're only evaluated when the main node isn't playing. So here they overlap, but because the fence node starts playing, we start playing the fence footage. And now when this fence footage is finished, we want to play this image sequence. So that goes into layer out. And now you'll see we have our first footage, our second footage, and then our third footage here. So that's simply how you layer things around. Now, as I said before, if I wanted to render this out as a full video, then what we would do is render out the audio separately to the video footage, and that is a bit of a shame, because if we could get rid of that, then everything could be rendered in one go. But it is somewhat inevitable that it's going to have to be a multi-stage process. But the usefulness of this is now we can modify our footage in place. So let's quickly add back in those cross effects. Currently only the cross effect is supported, not even the gamma cross, just because I was producing a proof of concept. And you'll now notice that we've just produced these two cross nodes. So on the left we have cross 01, and then on the right we have cross 01. So we need to quickly rewire our nodes to fix them again, so let's just clear the backdrop. We have all these wires between our images that we now want to remove because they're being controlled by effects, so let's just delete those and delete that. And then we want to use our second cross as the output, and we want to input the first cross into the layer in the second cross effect, and the image sequence into the layer out. And let's just check how that looks. So we got that. Fade. So now this cross needs to have the fence as its secondary footage, and it also needs to have the life ring as its first. So this, then fade. Just updates, there we go. I'm doing some other operations, which is why it's a little bit slow. And then the final footage is this. Okay, good. So now we've got all our source footage, we can separate it out so we can see what we're doing. And let's say that I wanted to color correct my fence footage, or let's say I wanted to color correct my life ring footage. That's pretty nice. So we're going to add a color balance, or let's do a color correction node. And let's quickly hold shift and drag to create a common connection, and then drop this color correction over that. And I want to make the greens a little bit more vivid, so let's saturate. That's master saturation, okay. So I'm going to introduce my master saturation. I'm going to turn off the red and blue for now, just so we can control the greens. Let's turn that down a bit. Okay, and then contrast. I'll pause this and change it so that I can actually control my mouse cursor, which is being absorbed. And you'll see we've just performed color correction in place. And we can still scrub through, and this footage will remain a part of the sequence. And now let's add a box mask. Let's get a blur, and we'll just do a normal blur, and then we'll make it relative, and select that one. and I've just added in a final vignette at the end of it all, and if you look currently that's without the vignette, and if we zoom in a bit so you can see what's going on and then enable it, you'll see that we get the final vignette, and that's all for the VSE footage. So every single frame of render will have this vignette on it. For some shots it'll be more noticeable than for others. And that's how we create an effect. So I've got different nodes, color correction nodes, and they all play very nicely with the normal video footage. So some of these factors might be quite useful. This factor can be used for if you don't want to actually perform an alpha over effect, then what you can do is take your node and simply disconnect the inputs to the alpha over, so it's not evaluated, which will probably save processing time. So just disconnect all the inputs, and then use the factor output to control your own effect. In future I might try and make it so you can actually add custom effects without having to do that, but it'll probably be using some kind of naming trick. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll keep you posted.